she went with her daddy, she's with me. So. She's, what is she, I think she's 3, so we're already attached.
Ronnie, what you got, bud?
Yep, gotta turn it 227 right now.
227.
I hope this book is right there.
Yeah.
Look at that, yeah.
Did you ever get to hear Brother Hill sing that? Lewis Hill. You sung
I said, I never come to half as much as I should have, you know. Had the opportunity when I come down there.
Right.
I was telling Pat this morning, Mother said, you gonna go to church? Nah, I better stay here, you know. And then the elders agree with everything.
That's how we are. We tried 227. Dark and thorny is the desert through which pilgrims make their way, through which pilgrims make their way, but beyond this veil of sorrow, but beyond this veil of sorrow, lie the realms of endless day, lie the realms of endless day. Dear young soldiers, do not murmur. Dear young soldiers, do not murmur at the troubles of the way, at the troubles of the way. Meet the tempest, fight with courage. Meet the tempest, fight with courage. Never faint, but watch and pray. Never faint, but watch and pray. Jesus, Jesus, which the angels cannot sing.
Who can paint these sons of glory?
Who can paint these sons of glory?
Ransomed souls that dwell on high.
Ransomed souls that dwell on high.
Who with golden harps forever.
Who with golden hearts forever.
Sound redemption through the sky.
Sound redemption through the sky.
There upon the golden pavement.
There upon the golden pavement.
See the ransomed march along.
See the ransom marching on,
While the splendid courts of glory.
while the splendid courts of glory
Sweetly echo with their song.
sweetly echo with their song.
Hail, you happy, happy spirits.
Hail, you happy, happy spirits.
Welcome to the blissful plain.
Welcome to the blissful plain.
Glory, honor, and salvation.
Glory, honor, and salvation.
Reign, sweet Jesus, ever reign.
Reign, sweet Jesus, ever reign.
Right here it is. That's awesome. This is where it's all at. Don't take it away. Amen. That's a beautiful song. Brother Ross. Really sing that. How you doing? Do 200.
What's that?
While you're hot, do 200.
200?
Yeah.
I am a stranger here below, and what I am 'tis hard to know.
I am so wild, so prone to sin.
I am so wild, so prone to nature is so prone to sin.
My nature is so prone to sin,
which makes my duty so unclean.
which makes my duty so unclean,
That when I count up all the cause,
that when I count up all the cause,
if not free grace, then I'm lost.
if not free grace, then I am lost. Something happened, brother.
Wasn't there, Brian?
We hope not. We hope that he's all well with him. Anyway. But we'll find out later, I'm sure. Again, I think it's kind of hard to say in a meaningful way here, and the meaning of that. I thank God that He has allowed us to meet here again, knowing that where God is, we are. Hoping God is here with us in heart and mind, in all that we do, all that is said here today. May someone in this little congregation be blessed to understand that coming from Jesus Christ is life. And we find that life here. And we can say that blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Again, this is one of the Beatitudes that is spoken of by Christ in the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter. I read these Beatitudes, and yet I seek an understanding in each and every one of them, and that's what I'm trying to search out. Blessed are those who hunger after thirst, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. We are all hungered at times. We know what hunger is. Perhaps we ourselves have not been to the point of hunger that it affects us bodily, healthily here. But we can see and we can understand where this hunger happens. If you watch the television, as I do, I watch too much of it, to tell you the truth. And I concentrate on things that are there. My interest is the world. My interest is in the world, and my interest is in how can my spirit, the spirit that is in me, affect the world. That's what I search for. What can I say? What can I do to affect the world? You. Because you are the world. Here, in this little group. You are the world. This is what I'm interested in. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. We are all hungered. We know what thirst is. I get thirsty working on hot days, especially if I'm out in the yard doing cleanup, mowing the lawn, doing work around the house, work in the garden that we have. Think like that. Get tired, get thirsty. My mouth gets dry. I want moisture in my mouth. I want water. I'm thirsty. That same thirst and hunger can be affected in this way, righteousness. What is righteousness? What is this righteousness that we affects us? What are we after? Righteousness. What is, you take the root word of righteousness, right. What is right? Right is a meaning, a standard of conduct. Right. We see it as the difference in right and wrong, good and bad. What is right? Right can also be like genuine or something that is normal, something that is correct. Correct is something that is just, proper, or honorable. All of these will justify and explain the word right. What is right? What is righteous? Righteous as a noun, acting or being in accordance with what is just or moral. Righteousness, good, what is just, what is moral within us, what is just and moral, that is righteousness. Right, righteousness, and it all comes down, well, the suffix ness, what does that mean? Is a condition or quality. Righteousness as a noun, a thing that is real. A noun is something that is a person, place, or thing. Righteousness can be a thing, is a condition or quality of acting or being in accordance with what is just and moral. This is righteousness. This is what we want. This is what we're looking for here in Jesus Christ and what we have. Blessed is also a word that means happy. You can see happy instead of blessed, blessedness, blessed, happy. Happy are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. Brother Jimmy Dell and I was talking about that last night, and he said that. And that this is what brought this to my mind. Righteousness. What is righteousness? It is here. It is for us. The righteousness of Jesus Christ, and we follow Jesus Christ in His righteousness. That's where we want to be. That's where I want to be. I speak myself. I can speak for you, any of you. And I don't want to speak for any of you. I want you to speak for yourself. You're the one that has to find this. You have to find it for yourself. I can't give it to you. It's free from Jesus Christ to you, to each of us, and it is free. The blessed grace and just of Jesus Christ, that's where we are. That's what righteousness is. This is what is good. Not bad. This is what is good. This is what we all want and need here in Christ. Hopefully Christ will be here with us. I do hope and pray that everything is well with Brother Reese, Sister Gloria. Were they going from Tennessee to Kentucky? Well, I hope all is well with them. Still concerned about them and all. We hope and pray. That's something else. What is prayer? What do we pray? What is prayer? And that. See, prayer is a hope. Instead of saying, I pray, I hope. That is my hope. That is my prayer for life here. Everything that God did through Christ is for our benefit. But we've got to find it. It's not for me, it's free. But you have to look for it, you have to search for it. I mean, it's not laying on the ground outside, it's not in the back seat of your car. It's in you. You find it. And how do you find that? You find that by searching. Read the scripture. Don't read one verse of this and say, well, that's it. Because that's not it. Because it'll send you somewhere else. If you read the scripture, you'll get confused. I'll warn you that. You'll get confused. But that just makes you hungrier. That makes you thirst more. And you want to know more. So you read more. You feed more. You come to church. You listen to the preachers, hear the people that are speaking and talking. That feeds you. That feeds your interest. That's what you want. Thirst and hunger after righteousness and find it. But it's not easy. I hope God will be with us here today in all that we do. May God grant us peace and liberty here is my prayer.
You're in.
Oh, anybody see that fiasco on television yesterday? Crown of the King.
Oh.
I mean, they take a 5-pound gold crown and set on his head, and they glorify him. They make him out to be, I don't know what he is. He's nothing to me but a man, just like us. But they glorify him, put this robe on him, put all this money, what have you, on him, and we had, which I know it's God's will. He asked it, take this cup from me, if it be thy will be done. But we had the King of the world here. And what did he do? He rode a golden buggy into town yesterday. And Christ rode an ass. Greatest man that's ever been in life. Rode an ass into town. What did they do? They beat him, they whipped him, they did everything. They put a crown on his head, buddy. A crown of thorns and thistles. Which was meant to be, I understand. But yet they turn around and they take this thing that they did yesterday and they make it like they're glorifying this guy like Christ. That's what I got out of it. And that was totally, in my mind, far out false. In the beginning, they crowned Saul as king over the Hebrews. And the people did this. And after a while, they didn't like it. They wanted another one. God went to Samuel, and he told him to go to Jesse. Jesse had 7 sons. He's going to pick a son and make him king. Well, Samuel went to Jesse, and he went through the sons. He went through 6 of them. They wasn't the ones. Now, God is the one that's doing Samuel this way. They wasn't the ones. He says, have you got another son? He says, yeah. He's in the field with the sheep. He's a boy, a young boy. He says, bring him before me. He brought him before him. This is the man. This is the one that God appointed, King David. He was just a kid. Well, Samuel honored him king at that time. But David went after Saul and became, I guess he was, Saul was a hero maybe in his eyes. He knew better. But he came before him twice and could have killed him. But he wouldn't because of who he was. No, we can't do that. And he waited and finally he was killed. And then David became king, God's king. And then down through time, what did they do? They appointed son, nephew, what have you, kings after that. And they would fight over who was going to be kings. This guy there yesterday, I guess he's come down through family. Who is he? Nobody. But yet they make him out to be great. But that was just, that's just a story that hit me when all this was going on. And I didn't like it, so to speak. Boy, it would have been great which I know they couldn't because God didn't mean it to be that way, but it would be, he is today. He is glorified, he is worshiped in many, many churches. And I mean, they may not know the truth, but at least they glorify the right man. You know, they're preaching Christ and some other things, but they say that it's not grace. Well, it's grace, but it's not a gift. You got to earn it. You know, grace is a gift. And so, anyway, I wanted to read this here if I can find it again. I was reading last night, and I run up on this. And I had something else I was going to talk about today, but this hit me. And I may be totally wrong on this, and I know the brother is way smarter and way up on me on this. But this is the way I perceived it as I read it last night. And I hope God was with me and was showing it to me at the time. If I can find it. Where'd you go? I know you're here. Here it is. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord. And that's where I think of Christ at a time when he was lifted up on the mountain and when John was lifted up in was told Revelations. They stayed in the same place, but they were lifted up in spirit. Christ went up on the mountain and the devil confronted him. And the devil was that nature side of Christ. It wasn't no thing, what have you. It was the nature side of Christ, just like we have in us. We are our own devil. I have no little man sitting on my shoulder, like I said before here. If I had him there sitting on my shoulder and an angel on this side, I'd follow that devil every time. He knows what I like. He knows what I understand. So people tell me. You know, I know what I like. I know what I would like, the directions I would like to go in. But God says, no, don't do that. So I try to do it. But that's what Christ faced when he went up on the mountain. He came in nature. He came in flesh. So that made him like us. So he was tempted, the same as we're tempted. And he was tempted that he knew
God is in us and through us and permeates everything, you're not going to get any closer to God. That's why we don't get up and preach and yell at you and tell you, you got to get closer to God. If you get closer to God, you can feel some of this Spirit. I mean, you're as close to God as you ever want to be. Because you are in Him and He's in you. And I'm thankful for that fact this morning. The hell that we go through in life, a lot of it's created out of our own bad mistakes, and some of it's the other people around us and all that sort of thing. That's why we need each other. That's why we need each other to help us enjoy, a little bit of heaven while we're here. And just knowing the fact that we don't have all the answers, but again, meeting out like this is important for us. And I appreciate our little crowds that we have. I'd love to see a church house full of people that are like this, and we may do that eventually. There's lots of people that I get messages from all the time online that tell me, boy, I wish I lived in your area. And I always say, well, just go ahead and start up a group in your area. Call it whatever you want, but we'll pray for you. We'll love you. You don't have to have my permission to start a group or a church. But there's lots of people out there like us. We don't maybe hear from them sometimes, but I really get encouraged when I hear, I get a phone call or a text or a message from somebody that I had no idea knew something about us and was like, hey, I heard about you all. Boy, just keep it up. Boy, I wish I could go to church like that, or I wish I could believe something like that. That should help us. That should cause us to be able to know we're standing. We might be small, but I'm thankful that we stand on a firm foundation, and it's the rock, which is Jesus Christ. So thankful for this morning. I hope Reese is okay like you guys. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe. I know at the funeral he was hurting pretty bad after he preached that night, and I don't think he got to come the next day, did he? So he's been in some pain lately, so he may have not made the trip. But we're hoping for the best and praying for the best. So we'll find out. Anybody else got anything?
It was well.
You got any business or anything you need to do? Or
No. A long time ago, after we had some trouble in the church anyway, and everything started breaking up for us, and we left the Three Forks of the Powers River Association and all that turmoil and everything going on anyway. The church just granted me permission to basically take notes and write them down, and keep them that way. And we don't, now, I get a bank statement every year. Right now, we've got about $1,900 in the treasury. I don't know exactly how much right off the top of my head, but we don't have a lot. I mean, I know we'll go to Hurricane Church and Brother Reese a letter there, and he knows, well, they spent this much for gas or this much for electricity. Well, we don't have gas. We have electricity and we have the water. The water is provided through the deed from that house over there, so we don't have a water expense. But we do have a water connection available if needed, which is just right there at the end of the driveway. Just right over there. It's there. If we ever need to hook up to it, we can. But it'll be a chore to hook up to it, because the water inlet for the church house is over here on this corner. That will go there on that corner. So how we get from there to there would be a job. Don't know whether to come down this side, come back around. We can't go through that way because that's all blacktop, and would be a problem there. So, but anyway, that's where we are as far as the church's financial situation is, and that's about it. So if we normally just we can sing a song and close, And, till next month. We'll say that the next, I think Hurricane's next meeting is the 4th. And then our next meeting will be the first Sunday in June. God willing, we'll be here. So, together again. Hopefully more. Invite somebody if you can, if you know somebody that would like to. I got what I do. When people say, well, I would like to come to your church, I believe what you do. Well, I know Uncle Ed, Ed King, and Helen's husband. He came here to this church just about every time that he was in here. But he never did join the church. But he believed the way we do. He worked, he would sit right back there and hear the preaching and shed tears. But he sat right back there. He never would get up. He never joined the church. And they say, well, why? Ask them. You say, I don't see how you do it. Why don't you see the way we do it? If you saw the way we do it, then you would understand. But you have to come and listen and hear. You have to learn. You can't, it's not going to be given to you simple. You can't simply read in a book because you have to have the understanding. You take the Bible, you can read it, you can call words. You can call these words, and if you call these words, you're not going to get an understanding. But it's not a simple thing of just a word. It has many different meanings. You can look in a dictionary of the word. Like I said earlier, you look up the word righteousness. There's parts to that. Right, righteousness, righteousness. See? So what do all they mean? How do they differ? And it's the same way with everything else. It's all confusing, yes. But that's why we meet out here. In this little group, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here today. I've been in here we was in here one time when we were 3. So just don't.
I got to say that I drive the 200 some miles, not because it's difficult or anything because of that, because I've always got God on my mind, and I know that He's going to be here, and I know that He's going to bless us. I mean, it's just, I know that.
And that's why you come.
Right. I come because of Him, not because of me. Right.
It's 207 miles one way for me to come from Kentucky to here. But I've never been to mine. I mean, shoot far. My family, my wife, and our household situation is my wife and her sister, and her sister's husband and I have purchased some property there in outside of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And we live together, and we share expenses, and we share everything there. But we're all on the deed to that property. We all own that. They go to a church about 5 miles away from the house. About 5 miles. I can do that church. I've been to that church. I don't like their singing, which is and I don't like their, what they do. Well, it's funny. I can see the truth in what he's saying, but it is a natural, it is a worldly truth. It is the way that they want it to be. It's not the way it is. But my brother-in-law is a hellfire and damnation believer.
And it is true. It's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't know where it is. It's misplaced.
Where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a movie we watched. It was on in 1923. Was the name of it, I believe. Was the title of the movie. And it was about some pilgrims or people that in the 1800s, well, there was one started out in what was that one, 1883?
83, yeah.
1883, about people coming from Europe, and they came over here, and they were going on their way to Oregon, I believe it was, and it was their trip, how they got there, and how many of them got there. See, and it all broke down to one family, and they didn't get there. They stopped in Yellowstone area. Was it Yellowstone Park now? And Yellowstone is the name of that series, and and we watched that. I mean, and they showed realism, the truth and the realism of how it happened, and things that physically happened. And they had a girl that was narrating it through it, and she said in this series that hell was here on earth. And she made the comment, how can there be a worse hell than what's right here? In all of their torment going through getting out west. And my brother-in-law said, you believe that too, don't you, Pat? I said, you better believe it, and right there it is. Right there is your proof.
That's like that black guy that you guys were talking about, made a preacher and changed his, after he went through the seminary and all that stuff, changed his belief.
Yeah.
He said that what changed him was when he went up somewhere over in Africa, you know, and all those old black people, how poor they were. And he says, if that wasn't hell, they ain't no hell.
But hell is right here. And that's what they can't get around.
If you've been through it, you know it.
Yeah, they want to believe that hell is, you're going to die and you're going to go to hell.
Well, I said, when I was growing up, if I did something wrong, my mom didn't say, well, I'll get you tomorrow. I'll get you next week. My mom took me in the back door, and I got it right there and then, you know. And I said, God's the same way. If you do something wrong, He's going to punish you. And then He ain't going to wait till your life's over with. He's going to get you in your life. Ain't going to hurt after life's over with.
Oh, that is good. And it's meant for us to learn from. Anyway, well, if all is said and done, we will dismiss in the order that we are. And
Pretty good.
hopefully, next time, what do you want to talk?
We'll sing 288.
Sing 288 and close.